okay? So these weekly workshops we do in person and online. So if you're live on Facebook, or if you are following me or a subscriber on YouTube at Angelica Stanley, just search Angelica Stanley on YouTube and you'll see my profile and all of that. So we're doing these because I started years ago, and now it's just that season. It's toward almost, we're in spring. Things are blooming. Everyone is sneezing. So it's just a good time to get started on preparing for things, coming summer, right? Because there's a great harvest season during summer if we don't faint, right? If we don't give up. So I want to be quick on this. This won't take long because I want you to take actionable steps today, okay? So we're starting the next 5 weeks called the Author Lab. So inside of the Biz Collective, which is my monthly membership for $27 a month, we are preparing for prep to publish, okay? So we are talking a lot about authorship and coaching and consulting, but most importantly, I am teaching you how to use your story as your positioning piece in the marketplace. So in order to do that, I have broken this down into 5 simple categories or steps that you can take so that you are prepared, whether you want to launch on YouTube, okay, or you want to write a book or a short workbook or a training manual, whatever it is that you believe, a devotional. I want you to get your message. Now, before you get your message, you have to do the foundational work. So that is what we are going to be covering for the next few weeks here. Okay, so the Author Lab, business foundations, we're going to go from story to structure to strategy. Okay, so for those of you that don't know me, my name is Angelica Stanley. I am a self-published author. Okay, I wrote my first book literally just truthfully out of obedience. I didn't want to do it because I was like, who wants to hear my story? Who wants to hear this? Who wants to hear that? However, it has helped me open up many doors to, God is good. And it helped me get into the doors that God had for me. And it allowed me to steward, but also grow, also heal, but help others, especially my called and my creative people like you that probably go through a lot of warfare and you just don't realize that it's warfare, right? So I've helped not only myself get the understanding that I needed of not leaning on my own understanding and encouraging others to look at things in a different perspective. From story to structure, looking at daily life, looking at business practices and principles, and then strategy, how to move certain things when you're first starting, how to scale to your first $1,000 a month and then a week, and then growing up in increments and different things like that. So I'm excited to get started. It'll be short, simple, and sweet. You don't have a business problem, okay? You have a foundation problem. And that's where I want to speak from today, because a lot of us are starting a business and we're scared to start because we're hesitant in what is actually going on here, right? We're hesitant to do business because we're afraid of the nook and the cranny type of stuff. We don't want to get in there and do the nitty gritty work, right? So we're going to do it together. This is what these workshops are for. They're for free, okay? So be sure to subscribe, hit the like, send to your biz besties, all of that great stuff. Get the free resources, join us, okay? I'll talk more about the Start to Structure free resource that I can offer you today that you can get started with, okay, inside of the Biz Collective. So as we're doing this, why people are stuck. People are stuck because they're overthinking, they're overlearning, and they're underbuilding. Building requires action, okay? It doesn't mean you're going to build Rome overnight. It just means that you're going to take one strategic step at a time. Right, left, one foot in front of the other, okay? Sometimes in business, when it comes to developing, you may find yourself having to go 2 steps back. But instead of it being a negative thing, it is an opportunity for you to step back and collect and gather information and do better, right? When we know better, we do better. So what does that look like? That looks like you only needing 3 things, Okay. You only need something to sell, whether it's a glass, a jar, a mug, a book, a coaching program, a service. Maybe you're wanting to start a taco truck, right? Maybe you're wanting to start a macaroni truck, right? And have different macaroni and cheese and different side dishes with those. It doesn't matter what you are going to sell, okay? As long as you have the service or the product. Now, the next best thing out of the two out of the three that you need is a place to sell it. Are you going to sell this online, or are you going to sell this in person, in a truck, in a classroom, at a community center? Where are you going to do it? In your own brick and mortar? What does that look like? And then the third thing, the cherry on top, is someone to sell to. But that comes through telling someone to tell about what you are doing. Having a candid conversation. I actually talk about this all the time and we role play this because it's quite funny, but it's like, hey, how are you doing today? Like at network parties. It's not saying, oh, I'm starting this business. Oh, I'm just preparing for this weekend's photo shoot. Oh, what is the photo shoot for? Well, we're actually having our taco truck opening and I'm really excited. And so we're going to just get some real candid everyday in life pictures of what it looks like preparing and just a whole walkthrough of video and pictures so that we have an opportunity to not only gather social media, but to just really draw the picture and paint the story of the reason why we do what we do. And like lights go off. Oh, so I'm telling a story. Yes, you're telling a story and you're telling a story in real time. Okay, so that's what's needed. So the next thing I want to talk to you about, and this is a truth, okay? You don't need more ideas, you need structure. And structure can look like setting things up according to the rules and laws, right? The next thing is your story. Your story is your starting point. What you've walked through matters, okay? So here I am, right? Some lady you just found on Facebook or YouTube, somebody sent you this, it got caught on the algorithm, right? And you're like, I want to start my business, but I don't have structure. I don't know how to do certain things. I'm not sure what steps to take, all of that great stuff. So here's the best part about this. Your story is the middle piece, right? It's the meat and the potatoes that's holding it all together. The structure is the pot, right? And then the people and the venue and where you're serving, that's the table. That's the atmosphere. That's the environment, right? So what you've walked through matters because it doesn't matter what pot you have or what location or what incubator or whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter what tablecloth or I mean those are great for aesthetics and all the beautiful stuff, don't get me wrong, but your story matters and what you've been through, how you build relationships with people, how you connect with people. One of the first things I do is I don't start talking business with everybody. People don't even know I'm an entrepreneur half the time. The way they learn that I'm an entrepreneur is we start talking about storytelling and we start talking about their daily life and how they're and just encouraging them. And then out of nowhere they'll say, well, what do you do? And it's like, oh, well, I help entrepreneurs lead through their testimony or their message from what they've been through, and they package it in service and officers and build their brand based on who they are and what they've been through. An authentic, leadership module so that they can start scaling their business and get to their first 1K. Oh my goodness, what does that look like? What looks like being an author, or maybe you're wanting to be on YouTube, or maybe you're wanting to do coaching and consulting. And so it ends up being a blessing because it's not just about business, it's about relationships, it's about storytelling, it's about really understanding what people need so that when you identify the problem, then you can be the solution. Okay. So your story is actually a solution to people. You just got to package it. So the foundation framework that I want to talk to you about is a real business foundation has a message, an offer, and structure. Okay. So we'll talk about your message. That's what goes out, right? And then your offer is what you're offering them. Like, I'm about to offer you a couple of things to assist you to meet you where you're at, right? Because everyone's at a different place. And so I'm going to pitch to you for my baseball spring is here, baseball season. I'm going to pitch to you something, and you're going to decide whether you're going to hit or not, right? You're going to decide whether you're going to swing. The structure in which everything is set up is how I get my message out to you, and my offers are how I deliver them to you, how I'm working with you one on one, how I'm doing those different things so that we can be in alignment, right? So that we can work together and I can help you build a structure that is conducive for the foundation of your business to get to where you believe you're supposed to go, right? So if you're wanting to scale to 10K, 1K, 5K, whatever, we got to start small, right? We got to get everything layered together, then and then start working up, okay? So the way this works is, let's talk structure real quick, because this is where the LLC portion comes in, and a lot of people are hesitant in doing this because this makes it real, okay? Excuse me, and some water, but this makes it real. This is like, oh my goodness, I'm actually starting a business. Like, I'm actually about to embark on this journey. And so, to kind of ease the responsibility weight of what this looks like, I want to walk you through this really simple. Okay. So, structure doesn't start with paperwork, it starts with clarity. Okay. So, this is why these workshops are so important for you, because I want to make sure that you walk in clarity. And when you start walking in clarity, you start to build an authentic confidence. Okay. And when you have that confidence to show up in your authentic self, then you start to build consistency. Okay. So, my goal for you as a business coach, okay, is to help you with the structure and the foundation of clarity, confidence, and consistency. Once you get clarity on what you're doing, like I said, you will then have a confidence that allows you to take action. It's motivation, right? And it's a disciplined practice when consistency starts to, embed, right? And starts to take formation, because even when you're stuck, or even when you're struggling, or you're not sure, or there's some resistance, and it's just like, oh, I'm going to another this, or because it can be, it's hard, right? We're working with people. People have stories, people have things that they're going through. We have bills, we have all these different things. But here's my message to you, and this is what I want to get to my point across. Once you know what you're building, all you're going to need is a business name, a business structure like an LLC, and then a place to operate from. Short, simple, and sweet. Okay. And I talk about all of that in the Biz Collective. We have the full roadmap in the Start to Structure, because I want to make sure that you get something that encourages you to dive deep into what you are able to do, right? Many people do this. The difference that separates a successful business to an unsuccessful business is clarity, confidence, and consistency. Okay? Clarity, confidence, and consistency. If you stay consistent, okay, even if it's messy, even if you're struggling, even if you have a lot of questions, eventually it's going to click. It's going to start to move, and you're going to be like, I can do this, right? Because that's that confidence piece. So, with that being said, the LLC and the SBA have a simple like guidance tool that you can go through. You can just go to the sba.gov, and they have like a roadmap that you can follow. Very simple. I walk my clients through this all the time. I connect them in their state to go get resources, get free workshops, like do the things that you need to do to get this done, right? You might get some free assistance. You might, get all of the connections that are needed, right? You can go directly through the state website, or you can get help from the SBA, the Small Business Administration. They offer free guidance, local support, and step-by-step stuff, okay, to help you build, okay? This is where I started. This is how I was like, I need a structure, I need a roadmap. And I started this back in 2012. Put it on the shelf because I didn't really know what I was doing. Got it, stayed in my career, did all of that stuff. And then I became a mom, left my career, bada bing, bada boom. It was Old Faithful. Okay. So it works. Okay. So this is simpler than it sounds, and you don't have to rush it today. But if you want to work with me through this and you want my hand like to guide you through this, I have two spots for business audits and strategy sessions. Okay. So this is where we clean up your foundation. We simplify your business module and decide like which route is best for you. And then I give you the next step plan. Okay. So one call a month is usually for 30 days. You'll have an outline of things that you can get done, and you're able to work with me inside of the Biz Collective, as well as have access to, personal chat and different things like that for the month. So this is where this comes from. For additional CEO development, I want you just to go ahead and do a Google search for the Peaceful CEO and just listen to the podcast. You're going to hear about me as an entrepreneur, where it started, the journey from the beginning. It's a podcast. That's where I started. I talk about inner healing. I talk about faith. I talk about simple steps to scaling your business. I talk about your message. I talk about scaling your first offer to 5K, to 1K, to 10K, how to get your first 3 clients, how to scale from your first 3 clients, how to package the gifts and talents that you have into reasonable offers that people can afford. Now, when I say people can afford, there are people out here that are charging $5,000 to $7,000 and they're brand new, like Jump Street, like just straight out, like high school, not even any college. And they're just like, oh, I'm going to help you. If they can do this, okay, this is coming from someone who's been doing this for 10 years. Okay. You can do this. Okay. You just have to know your audience, and you have to understand the type of CEO that you want to be. I personally want to be a peaceful CEO. I don't want to be doing 50 million thousand things and nothing gets done. I want to stick to the handful of things that I know that I can navigate through and allow those seeds to harvest at the appointed time. Amen. So this is a simple start plan. Right now, I want you to focus on your idea, who it helps, and your next step. Okay. Then you move into structure. Then you move into the LLC and the setup. Okay. I like to tell my clients, don't even look at the LLC until you've made your first $500. You may not have a taco truck, but you can pull a grill and you can go to a vendor event, like figure out what you can do, right? To make your first 500, your first $1,000. Once you make that, then you want to say, okay, I need to be about this business. I need to do it right. I need to dot my I's and cross my T's. Okay. So if you want help with setting up your business, choosing the right structure, building this step by step, I want you to join the Biz Collective. Okay. Or you can book a $47 business audit and strategy session with me. Okay. Here's the goal that I'm trying to introduce you to. The Biz Collective is, you don't need more information. You just need to start. And the start to structure roadmap is inside the Biz Collective for absolutely free. Okay. It is a free module where I take you from clarity, offer, message, systems, build. Hey, clarity, offer, message, systems, build. Hey, and you get through this because we're taking you from idea to income. And when we do this, it allows you to see exactly what you have, take action, right? Because that's clarity. Take action on confidence, and then build consistently and start to scale and see what works and what doesn't work. Okay. So again, my name is Angelica Stanley. Thank you so much for being here. This is the Author Lab series. If you have any questions, please subscribe, like, share all of your friends and all that great stuff. And I can't wait